And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a fun show for you today. Pete Gray out of town, down in Mexico, getting a little R&R, making sure the surf is still appropriate down there. And, man, we have a lot of fun. We got our good buddy, Wayne Cotto, is going to be in the co-host chair with us this morning. And, man, do we have a fun show for you today. Captain Cameron from the Mission Belle is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking all kinds of fishing, local fishing, offshore fishing, and more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of year again. San Diego Monster Jam is back, and your San Diego County Ford dealers can get you close to the action. This month, Monster Jam is happening at Snapdragon Stadium on January 10th and 11th. Visit your local Ford dealer to take a test drive and receive exclusive complimentary pit passes for Monster Jam. That's right. Come drive a Ford F-150, Bronco, or Explorer and get those pit passes to see Gravedigger and Velociraptor up close and personal while supplies last. Visit buyfordnow.com to find your participating local San Diego County Ford dealer for Monster Jam pit passes today. Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, do we have a great show for you today. We got Captain Cameron from the Mission Belle in the house. Boy, we've been talking and having fun already in the studio. We're going to have a great show. And Ricky, welcome. I'm back.
Yeah, man, you've been on quite the mission. I've been following along social media. Wayne, you've been in different states every day. It seems like this week.
Yeah, we were up in. I was up in Sacramento the whole week and trying to do things to support us as fishermen and anglers out on the water. Working legislators and the department and Fish and Game Commission.
Got it. So your legislation was in Sacramento, not in D.C.
No, this
got
was
it.
in
So
Sacramento.
it was this state, just a lot of travel. Okay.
All the way up north.
All right. Well, that makes me feel a little better. I thought you were on a different coast and then back to here. So that makes me feel a little better.
It felt like that. It's gold up there.
I guess I should read the words instead of just glancing at the photo and scrolling along. But I'm glad to hear you made it. And yeah, lots going on up there in Sacramento. Boy, in addition to legislation, the ISE show's happening. So first kind of kick off to any of the shows, and
absolutely
we get the our first big one that we're really excited for, that PCS show. It's around the corner. That's the goings on of the tackle shop. We're already planning and packing and everything for a big for the big PCS shows coming up. So yeah, lots going on.
The great news is that we were up there in Sacramento and the first day it opened and there was such enthusiasm. Not only the vendors, but the people. They were out there, they were buying, they were happy, they were talking, they were booking trips. That is just a good precursor to what we're going to see at PCS. It's going to be insane.
That's cool, man. Well, speaking of good and early starts, man, we're just in. This has been an oddly fun winter time with, it's January and it's supposed to be cold and you're supposed to hope that you can find an area to catch a sculpin and a whitefish, and man, it's been bonita all season long, and the water's still 60 degrees plus, outside, and it looks beautiful. And man, what a good year to decide to buy a full day boat like the Mission Belle. And we're so stoked to have Captain Cameron in here. Cam, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Yeah, well, we're certainly pumped to have you. And What's been going on with the Belle? I mean, I know this is maintenance time, get ready, but there's fish looming. I mean, this is an interesting time as a boat owner, I'm sure.
Yeah, I kind of ending my lobster season and watching those guys, the half day boats, leave and they go around the corner, and we've had such epic weather, and within 40 minutes you see the whole fleet drifting, and it's just like, it looks like glass and the 3-day boats offshore, everyone's in stops.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they're getting them. But yeah, Mission Belle, we're kind of starting to get into maintenance. We have the engines torn apart and starting to do all the not so fun parts of boat work. And yeah, you kind of look at terrafins and see the water up and down the coast and offshore, and it's there's some warm water around.
Yeah.
And, it's fingers crossed it's springtime yellowtail.
I sure hope so, man. It just feels like a good one. We're in a great stretch of weather, and you see the fish biting, and you see the guys in the new Seaforth are catching bonitas every day, and it's the type of setup where it sure wouldn't surprise anybody if it kicked off nice and early.
Yeah, I mean, I remember years when I was a deckhand on the American Angler, it's like, there was days we'd cancel boat work and jump on a skiff and fish, yellowtail and IB in the afternoon.
I love that.
It was the best, and it's been 10 or 15 years since we've seen that, so we'll welcome it.
I know everybody is just like yourself. I mean, you can feel that the fleet feels like it's going to be an early start because there's nobody that's not that's not ready for it, that's turning wrenches on their boats right now. And this is a time of year when maybe you take your little shot and you go on vacation for a couple weeks, but it seems like everybody basically shut down and just got started again to be ready because just like you said, I mean the water is good. It just feels like it's gonna be early, and everybody's trying to get ready. I know you guys are doing the same, and most of the fleet is really gearing up. So much to the point where if that maintenance was already done, I don't think it would surprise anybody that there would be yellowtail at the Coronado Islands or somewhere down the coast. Or
yeah, Taro had the Colonette trip a couple weeks ago, and he saw a little bit of sign. And last year there wasn't much sign of yellowtail at Colonette, so it's good fishing down in San Quintin.
Okay.
So we're gonna be ready.
Yeah, I like it. So what's going on with the Belle this year? You said you were doing you're doing engine things. Is there other things that we're gonna notice? I mean, I know that you guys did a really good job in the off season last year doing some more of the cosmetic side that we see as passengers. But what's on the list, and what are we gonna expect when and when do you think she's gonna be up and running?
Goal is we're gonna be ready March 1st.
Okay.
No, that's
go time.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to do maintenance and not totally destroy the boat like we did last year.
Okay.
Where we just like
we
gutted. And so new windows in the galley. Galley's hot, so I added a few sliders just to let some more ventilation through. Engines, plumbing, pumps, kind of the bones of it more than the cosmetic.
And those are the things that keep you running every week, and you don't have, I'm sure.
Yeah,
you deal with it now, or you really pay the price later. I'm sure.
Yeah, you lose a trip in August or something. It's tough, on the business owner side, and just being able to not rush anything. And I did a lot of ordering, and the galley's wedged with everything we're going to need to start boat work. So once we start, it's all there, and we're not waiting.
That's awesome. So how did the first successful year go? I mean, how was it feeling? You put a ton of work into it. The boat, from the outside looking in, it sure looked great. I mean, the boat ran, and you guys were really on the fish, and it for all of us that were cheering you on, it felt like it was a good one. But how was your feeling of the first season under your belt with the boat go?
It was good. It was success for sure. Learning curve on a lot of things. Not so much fishing because luckily I've been an operator, and we're always learning. But the business end and keeping the galley supplies and this bill paid, and it's a lot of work. But with Starlink, it's nice on the way out.
That's
you get an hour to kind of do administrative work.
You're right though. What a change that is.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like. Before, as soon as you pass the Whistler buoy, that was it.
It's over. Yeah.
And now it just switches over, and
you're almost spoiled. You didn't have to go through the hard times when you didn't have that.
No, I mean, I remember writing my time down on the sat phone on the American Angler, $3 a minute, you know. Hey, babe, I love you. I'll call you later. Bye. But it was good. You know, I liked the boat. The boat fishes so well. And that was
so good.
Kind of what everyone who had driven it before or owned it before me, they're like, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. And you do. It is sweet, man. It fishes really big on the anchor. It's wide and comfy and plenty of bait and fish hold. And Steve did a really good job setting that thing up. Cool. So,
what is it about that boat that makes you and all those people like it? I mean, and give us a little rundown of what she's like for those that haven't had a chance to come fish with you.
For the operator side, it stops on a dime.
Okay.
You know, you pull the Vagabond out of gear,
which you drove for a lot of years.
And you'd see a spall yellowtail and that we're running, and you'd stop and the boat's still doing 3 knots. That Mission Belle, it's just like, and you're stopped and you're not dragging them over. You were with them.
Okay.
And it just handles well. You know, you can zig and zag, and there's a lot of zigging and zagging through traffic at the Coronado Islands. And
she's like a sports car.
It is.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can almost turn too hard.
Okay.
Throw bait and you come hard over. Or the Vagabond, now we're coming around.
Yeah.
Or this thing, it's like, whoa, too tight.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And she's so just low to the water. I mean, from the fishing side, I love fishing on that boat. I grew up fishing on that boat with all the great operators that have come before you and you as well. And it's such a great boat on the passenger side to be on. It's low. It's very comfortable. There's tons of room for all your gear. There's room for everybody to be. It's a perfect boat. I was so glad when you made that call to get her.
Yeah, it's steel hull, so it's heavy down low, but the house is plywood glass, so it's light. So when you're drifting, it drifts really well. You're not rolling around too bad, and it's comfortable for a 65 by 20 footer.
That's awesome. All open party at a Point Loma Sport Fishing. Do you do the charter side of thing? We've been talking with so many guys. Charters are. This is the time of year that people try to get in. How does that shake out on the Mission Belle?
Yeah, so we ended up almost all of August being fully chartered.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a great company day outing.
Yeah,
we have a lot
perfect.
Some groups are 15 guys. We've had charters as low as 7 guys, up to 30.
7 guys on your boat?
Yeah,
we had a private charter?
Yeah.
That's so
I want to get on that trip.
Yeah. They were
you won't even see me. I'll be up on the bow. They'll all be on the stern. I mean,
yeah, it's almost boring. The crew outnumbers the pass. It was cool. But yeah, we do charters, mostly open party. Charter books are open now,
and that's literally just a matter of calling the landing and hey man, I got my company. I want to do a fun company trip. I got 20 guys that I want to get together, and it's just a matter of calling and making it happen. Do they do that through you directly, or is it a Point Loma Sport Fishing?
So you can call the landing, or you can call me direct.
Okay.
I handle a lot of the charters and kind of feel people out if they want, offshore islands. I really try to encourage the charter groups to have all have passports.
I'll bet.
Because it's just game time decision that way.
Totally.
If offshore is really good the day before your trip and we're scheduled to go to the islands, we just go off. We can do whatever we need to in the morning. And I get it. It's tough to get everyone to have passports, or there's the one guy, or maybe the boss doesn't have it, but we encourage all charters to have passports.
I hope if you take anything away from today's show, if you're listening right now and you hear this, do it right now. You do it right now, you're missing nothing.
Yeah.
And if you turn around and Cameron's got that boat fired up and March 1st comes around and there's great yellowtail fishing at the islands and you don't have it, you can't go. And it's such an easy thing to do. It's going to take the cost of one trip out of it, and you're going to be good for the next 10 years.
I can't even imagine not having it. And if you get it, get the card too. Don't just get your booklet. Get your card too, because you can go up and down Mexico with your card as long as you're not flying.
And you keep it. With the card, you keep it in the wallet.
Exactly.
Totally.
You don't have to worry about carrying the extra piece of whatever in your pocket.
That was a big thing. It's like, we're getting ready to leave, and they call me to the office. I come up. It's like, hey, I don't have my passport. My wife can send me a picture, and it's like, as much as I want to do it,
totally, it is out of your hands.
That's correct.
We do get checked by the Mexican Navy, and it's a great relationship.
Right.
To Ken Frank, we got boarded twice this year, and it's a no big deal.
Yeah.
My Spanish is not good enough to justify a pitcher to hand in the book. You know?
Yeah. Nor is it allowed on their end either.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even stand a fighting chance. Is what you're saying. Yeah. Well, that's it. So get it. Just get it. It's not tough. We're one of the few places in San Diego. There is an issuing agency in San Diego. You know, you can go to the place that prints them and have one done in a couple of weeks. It's an easy,
and it's 10 years.
An easy deal. Yeah, it's 10 years. You got to have it. You got to have it to fish Coronado Islands, and the way the fishing has been at those islands, so close to our house, man, you'd be crazy not to have it. What a couple of years these islands have had.
Yeah,
and even if you just if you decide to graduate from a half or 3/4 day all the way up to overnight trips or longer, you're going to need it.
Yeah.
It's a fact of life. So just get it.
Part of the deal for sure. Well, speaking at Coronado Islands, how did the season go last year? And I mean, I'm sure everybody's anticipating this. Like you said, everybody's kind of in their maintenance time, so there's not been a lot of checks as of late. But what was the kind of rundown of last year at the islands, and when are we hoping this sucker's going to get going?
You know, we never had the big volume of yellowtail come in. I mean, we were just waiting, and it never showed up. You know, we had middle of July, we had a couple weeks where there was some schools around of different fish, you know, 10, 15 pounders. But from the first trip we ran to the last trip we ran at the island, there's, I don't know how many, there's 7 or 8 or 10 of these schools. They're not giant schools, but of these big ones.
Okay.
They're like these 20 to 30 pounders.
That's so cool.
And they clean house.
I bet they do.
And they are like truly local. They are hard to catch. They're sneaky.
Okay.
They know exactly what it feels like when the sonar starts hitting them. And there was just days like we had a trip with Dwayne and the Wounded Warriors where they kind of let their guard down. We kind of had them figured out a little bit. And we had 125. We had limits of these giant rods.
No way.
It was just like every time we'd anchor, it was like they'd just attack, you know, and rent rods and going crazy.
That's so rad.
We had shots of bluefin. They were around. But it was just, you know, there's good calico bass. It was probably the best bottom fishing. When I ran the San Diego, it was pretty hard to kind of round out whitefish and sculpin, and you know, you really had to work at it, make sure you were anchored perfectly. Any place we anchored in hard bottom, whether it was the rock pile or middle ground, you could drop down and knock out a limit of whitefish or sculpin. So cool. Like the bottom. And I remember asking Booger, like, "This is crazy."
Yeah.
And he agreed. It was just some of the best bottom fishing.
That's so cool. The switch was just on.
It was just on. You know,
wanted to eat.
You'd see someone kind of get frustrated yellowtail fishing and, you know, hey, why don't you just drop down to the bottom? Tie a sinker on, you know? And it was just like, oh, before you know it, there's just big old whitefish flying over the rail and bites. Rad. And, you know, everyone gets to take something home. And
yellowtail of that grade, too, are just, there's something. And the only reason the way you said it, it just sparked a thing. We had a gentleman come in the shop a couple of days ago, and he was on one of the last, you know, multi-day long-range trips that went down the coast on one of the long-range boats. And he was talking about, we were catching yellowtail, and they were really nice ones. They're like 25 to 30 pounds, but I need new tackle. They were kicking my butt, man. I was really getting my butt kicked, and I just need something better. And I told him, like, man, they don't make fishing tackle that you don't get your butt kicked on a 30-pound yellowtail. It's a 30-pound yellowtail. Like it doesn't matter what's in your hand. Like they're supposed to do that. Like exactly. They don't make tackle where those things just come right in. You know? No, that's a real deal. Man.
They were real deal.
Yeah. That's a trophy no matter where you catch it and what you do. I mean, you start talking 20-pound yellowtail, like it doesn't matter what's in your hand. Like you gotta fight on your hands.
Pound for pound is a great fight.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, what a fun place and what a great time. And I just, again, I'm so glad that you got that boat and that run, because that is a true joy in sport fishing. Like getting to hop on the Mission Belle and doing a full day trip and going to the Coronado Islands or going offshore, wherever you are. It's really, really fun fishing. And you know, the brand that the Mission Belle is really putting together is just right. You know, you're a very friendly boat. It's easy to be. There's no big attitudes. You guys do such a good job on the passenger level, and yeah, we love it, man. We're really pumped.
We really wanted it to be, or you know, my wife and I, if you went on the Mission Belle, you knew exactly what you were going to get. If you fished on the Vagabond or American Angler or the service is there, the friendliness, the crew members are polite. You know, we really wanted it just to be like you could take your grandkids or your kid and know that they're going to have a good time.
That's it, man. You know, when you've got a friend from out of town and you book a spot on that boat, you know that everything, whether the whether you hit it on a day that the fishing's wide open 30-pounders or you're working for everyone, that you don't get to decide, but everything else is going to be done right.
That's the goal.
We love it, man. Well, we're going to have a great time today. So much stuff to cover, and you want to talk about a guy that's got a lifetime of doing this with Captain Cameron. It's going to be a lot of fun today, Wayne.
Absolutely. Boy, it's just the questions are coming in, the phones are booked up, and if you want to join us, don't forget to call in 833-288-0973. And we also do not forget the texting. We have the Let's Talk Hookup app. You can go to the Play Store and download it for Android or iPhones. And that's the only place you can go get that texting feature. Download it and then make sure when you text into the show, you leave your name and your phone number, because at the end of the show, Captain Cameron's going to flip a coin and one lucky caller is going to get a full day trip on the Mission Belle out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. Wow, what a great thing that's going to be. Hey, and when we come back, we'll be having more of Captain Cameron. We'll be taking your texts, your phone calls, and we'll get more catch reports. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It may be winter in Southern California, but those of us who live here know it's a great time of year to go fishing, and certainly not time to put your gear away. This is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. This is the ideal time for bay bass fishing, and I get the inside scoop from Johnny. Heck, he will even rent you one of our killer blue skiffs. This is also a good time to go work on your reels, and Doug is the man for that job. If big largemouth bass are your bag, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. They have all the right stuff and live bait for a perfect day on the lake. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is super cool too, for both freshwater and saltwater tackle. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
When you're pursuing big game fish, the right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars, too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon Technostabi TSX 1440 deliver rock-steady vision, even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
I've had the opportunity to fish many places in many different types of water, but never have I fished a place as much fun as Katmai Lodge in Alaska. Hello, my name is Harold Davis, typically fishing in the ocean, but this is an experience that you have to try for yourself. Fish natural rivers with tens of thousands of fish coming up. And they have all the gear: spinning, bait casting, fly rods, kings, silvers, pinks, sockeyes, and my favorite, the chums. Outstanding food, outstanding accommodations, great service. The lodge is located in the beautiful Katmai National Park, filled with amazing wildlife. Brown bears, moose, eagles, otters, and it has spectacular scenery. And also the fact that the lodge is located right on the Alagnak River and your boat is just steps away from your room makes it great. Do yourself a favor. Call Charmel at 1-800-330-0326 or go online, katmai.com. And like Pete says, they will hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, we can have a great show with Captain Cameron from the Mission Belle. Texts are flying in. The phones are going. Boy, and what the stories at the break that we tell. It's only 2 hours, but we can't get everything on the air, unfortunately. Boy, is it fun, though.
You were kind of giving us a little bit of rundown of what was happening up there in Sacramento in terms of the CCA things. It was good. I mean, would you call it a good trip? We in good standings? How did things go? I know that you're retired, but somehow you still seem to not be retired whatsoever. You're literally driving, going to the Capitol to meet with people. How did things go? How are your feelings on what the stance was?
It's extremely successful. What we do is all about networking relationships. It's how do you work with people to find solutions. You're never always going to get everybody to agree, but you're trying to find the middle ground that says, we're not the enemy. I always say it, right? We are for responsible and sustainable outdoor recreation, period. We're not against consumptive things. We're not against environmental programs because it helps the resources. We want to protect those resources. So I push CalTIP, right? Because if we take the poachers off, then all of our regulations and laws and stuff to help our resources will be in the right area. But the poachers are hurting our efforts. So that's why there's certain areas that we're pushing. It was good to go up there because we're talking to freshman legislators. We're talking about the new bills that are coming down, that we're introducing ourselves to people that don't know anything about us. There's the Sportsman Show up in Sacramento, started on Thursday. It goes through this weekend. All those legislators that we talked to up there didn't even know it was there. Now, how bad is that? Yeah. We're not doing a good enough job. And I made sure to talk about all of our shows for the whole California coast, because they go from Northern California all the way to San Diego throughout the first quarter, and we need them there. We need to get them involved in our industry to support us, because it is something that everybody should be having fun with. We learned it from COVID. We couldn't wait to get back out in the water, outdoors, and that's why I push it so hard. But it was very successful. We went and talked to Fish and Game Commission staff, Fish and Game Commissioners, Department of Fish and Wildlife, as well as the legislators. But the show, fun to see our friends. Awesome. Always fun to see our friends up there. Carl and Katie are there for the Landing and the Intrepid. So, we see each other up and down through the show circuit. It's pretty fun. People
are coming to the Fisherman's Landing booth to see Brian, who is like our main guy behind the counter Fisherman's Landing. Nobody's there to see Carl. I mean, let's be clear about that. Like the crew is coming to the landing booth to see Brian. I mean, he's the brains behind the operation. He's the reason that it works. I mean, maybe some people are there to get an autograph from Carl from his YouTube series, his little rundown of what's happening through the week. That exists, I'm sure, but people are there to see Brian. I mean, let's call it exactly what it is.
You the man.
It's fun.
I know we hear Wayne and Ken Frankie and these guys talk about all the meetings and stuff, and as kind of the dumb fisherman side and attending these meetings and going to Sacramento the last year and stuff, what these guys do and relationships they've built with these higher ups, it's incredible. I mean, these guys walk in like rock stars. That's awesome. The first one I walked in, it was like, I was nervous and kind of didn't know and these guys are professionals. And the fact that they go to bat for us we're lucky.
No doubt about that, man. You said it best. And it is one of the things that made me so proud that you took on that same hat and just, it wasn't something that you were paid for, and it's not something that you did to get the attaboys. You have taken time out of your schedule to attend meetings, whether it be, on the emissions side or fishing side or whatever it might be, just because it was good for you and for your business and for your family, but also for us and my family and fishing. And, you took a lot of unpaid time to go put your hat in that ring of those guys that have our back up there. And I want to personally thank you for it. And we're sure proud that you out there doing it.
Yeah, it's these commissioners and all the higher ups, they're busy and they have other jobs too. And it's kind of educating them from my perspective that we just like the outdoors.
Yeah. They're volunteers.
They don't
get paid to do that.
And, they have kids and families and all the things that, keep us so busy. But for me, it's just kind of educating them on like this. We're a small family fishing business.
Yeah.
We commercial fish. We take people fishing, and interacting with them. So when these decisions do come, how does this affect Wayne? Or,
totally.
Maybe
we couldn't do this, man. That hurt Cameron and his family. Like we can't,
And so it's important.
No, totally. And I know nothing about the process that you were through, but I just love the idea that you're just a real regular person that's up there. You're not a career politician,
no.
That's trying to make this decision based on other people's interests. It's like, man, I'm just a real person having a great time, want to keep this thing going.
And we need that. We absolutely need that.
I went
up
and
there.
spoke on a panel for Samantha Murray, who's a commissioner, and it was, UCSD, and the first thing I said on this panel is like, this is more time than I've spent in a college classroom in my entire life, and it's real.
Yeah.
Me and Tara, it's like, we went to college on the University of American Angler. That's where I went to school.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, I think just being real and who we are, and
awesome.
It helps.
Well, we're excited, man, for sure. Well, it's going to be a very fun show. We're excited. The phones are absolutely packed. Everybody's excited to talk to Cameron. Just like Wayne said, man, if you want to join us this morning, 833-288-0973 is how you do it. Not only is it your chance to talk to Cameron, but also we are giving away a full-day trip on board the Mission Belle out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. Wayne, let's jump into those phones.
Yeah, we can take John from San Diego.
Morning, John.
Good morning, guys. A question for Cameron and a question for Wayne. Cameron, do all species of fish react to the sonar waves that your transducer sends out? And Wayne, what's the biggest hurdle to creating more artificial reefs off California?
A couple of great questions.
I don't think all species react to it. I think it's maybe not so much the sonar, the frequencies hitting them or something, but maybe it's the boat, or we've driven over that school and they hear the rumbling and they kind of know and they get skittish. And then there's days where we, get a school on the machines and they want to fight us. Bring
it on.
Bring it on, and they're jumping all around and they're excited. So I think it's more of just like maybe a school we've already messed with and already stopped and tried to trick them with the bait, and they're kind of like, nice try. But they all act different for sure.
And day to day different. And is it the type of thing where when you first get on scene at the islands and you first slow down, you first put the sonar, is there a thing that happens where you're like, oh man, we're gonna get them today? The conditions are this such that today's the day it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and you see it with maybe the first school that you hit.
Okay.
It's like it kind of lets you work with it and chase it to kind of line it up perfectly, and then maybe the third time you hit it, you get like one sweep and you're like, oh, there they are. And before you could even sweep back, they're gone.
Okay.
But yeah, there's days where it's easy to be the captain.
I love it.
I like those days.
I want to go on those days. Yeah,
me too.
Sign me up for those ones.
Same.
So the second part of his question is, what do we run into for artificial reefs? Government bureaucracy, 100%. We are ready and want to do artificial reefs in California. We have for the last 11 years, 10 years with CCA California, and we can't get the bureaucracy out of the way. And it's so unfortunate because there's so much opportunity out there. CCA, national, all the other different states, we're like the number one group building reefs across the country, except California.
Okay.
Because we just can't get out of the bureaucracy. We're trying. There's going to be efforts going forward. We have Luke Burson up in Orange County is running the artificial reef program for us, and he's working on some things with us right now.
What is the biggest adversary to it, or is it just a combination of everybody? I mean, is it one group that says it's a polluting thing? Is it one, or what's the?
If you
the
want my
big
honest
obstacle?
answer, I think they're holding out from building reefs because what's happening on the water, it's being divvied up. Mm-hmm. You have all these other things that are going to happen on the water. You have 30 by 30, the MPAs in the state waters. You have what's going on with the oil derricks offshore. You have aquaculture coming in. You have fishing lanes. You have traffic lanes. All these things are being divvied up. And now, because of GPS, we can lease the space on the water. We've already sold all the land. Now they're looking at it from the water side. So I think they're holding off on wanting to do more reefs because they don't want to take space that they could use it for something else.
Gotcha.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, not official, but that's what you.
Yeah, it's just because I'm looking forward, and you look at what's happening with MPAs and the 30 by 30, and they're not sure where that's going to end up yet. And then you start looking at aquaculture on top of that, and that's already taking space. Where do you put the reef now?
I gotcha.
Right?
How much knowledge is that?
Yeah.
To what me and you just walk on a boat and go fishing.
That's it.
And
Totally.
then the behind the scenes.
That's what's really happening.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, hey, appreciate it, John, very much. Why don't we grab another one?
Yeah. Hey, Arnie in Vista.
What's up, Arnie?
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing today?
Awesome.
Morning, Arnie.
Got a couple questions. I got a couple of things to say. Wayne, again, thank you so much for your decade of hard work. You keep doing it, and One question I have is, as an average angler, I know one of the things we're worried about is what potentially may happen to the Point Loma kelp, about the expansion of the MPA. What can the average angler do? Of course, joining CCA is important, but what else can they do to help give our voice out there about that? And Cameron, hey, buddy, I tell you what, you have a wonderful boat. Your captain, Todd, took us out on our big fish charter last October, and, man, we slayed it. It was great. The weather was beautiful. Your boat's awesome. You got a great crew, buddy. It was an awesome time out there. And what's plans for the Mission Belle this year? Got anything coming? Got anything new we're doing?
I think we're going to just kind of repeat the course. I think we're just going to, do what we do. And having Todd's awesome, and Steve P obviously running the boat a little bit, gives me some days off. But we're just going to try to keep getting better.
That's awesome.
Build a better core and crew and systems. And
so, Arnie, your other part of your question is asking what's going to happen with the Point Loma kelp. Cameron's brand new to this whole process, and he's been engaged in it. Let's see where his answer is for the Point Loma kelp petition.
What is it? May 15th is the Point Loma meeting?
Yeah, there's 3 meetings coming up, right? And they're going to be
they're petition specific,
right? They're geography specific. Yeah. So you've got one up in Northern California, one in Santa Barbara, and the other one is going to be Southern. And they moved it from Oceanside to San Clemente. I just heard that this week. Yeah.
More travel.
Yeah, another 40 minutes up the coast.
Yeah, better in Sacramento. Yeah. I think for the fishermen, I think, attending them's obviously good. If attending and, volunteering to speak at the podium, respectful and kind.
Yeah. You've said that multiple times. I know that's something you made a point of saying every time you've been on here, what a big deal that is.
And it just, we just shoot ourselves in the foot. And, I was kind of, those letters, why send a letter? And they don't read the letters. And a couple meetings I've been to, it's like, oh, we read that. And they do. They read the letter.
Read every letter.
And it's impressive.
That's cool.
So, a well-written letter.
So he's right. It's May 19th. It'll be someplace in San Clemente. They moved it from Oceanside up because of what they're trying to figure out is how to separate the geography of the petitions. So they're going to do that. So put it on your calendar because we need people to show up and give public testimony on why certain things shouldn't happen, like this expansion. And let me explain it. When we started this process of petitions, this is an assessment of the current network. That's all this was supposed to be for. The very first thing that they promised us was no wholesale changes to the network, just assessments and adjustments to the current network. The petition for Point Loma expansion or Laguna Hills expansion or the other ones should have been denied outright. And that we're going to hold them to that, we're trying to hold them to that, because that is not part of this process. Mm-hmm. So that's what you should be talking about. That's the testimony. Don't get upset. Don't yell. Don't scream. Just state the facts. You told us this was the rule.
Yeah. How are you? How are you wanting to expand when you don't know what your current thing has done or not done on the positive or negative? Like, there's no reason to just grab more if you don't know what the first thing has done in the first place.
Right.
And our kelp bed is thriving.
Right.
It is. Beautiful
what did we tell them?
Timing.
It would come back as soon as the warm water went away and we started getting the cold water and the upwelling and the storms that we've been kind of bitching about because we can't get on the water. But those are what we needed.
Yeah, and we haven't had a big part of it's been these big like New Year's swells. Mm-hmm. The last couple years I've had to chase a lot of lobster traps around the ocean, and we haven't had it this year. We've had swells and storms, our kelp bed south of the pipe right now, which is, a big part of this petition is kelp. There's 3 in this season, since October, 3 or 4 boats I've had to tow out, random skiffs that drive in and outboards overheating and inboards and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it is as long I've been fishing lobster 13 years now. It's the thickest I've seen it.
It's not the type of thing where you could just point some direction and push the throttle up a little bit and you're going to be fine no matter what. Like
you see
gotta
it.
Know where you're
you
at.
See the boat coming through and it's like, ooh, not a good choice, and then white steam,
It is amazing how fast that kelp bed can take care of itself if it's given a little bit of time and more than anything, just the right condition.
It's 2014, there wasn't a stitch of kelp.
Right.
There was wahoo on, outside the Whistler buoy, and now it's
And you can't drive a boat through
point to pier, there's full kelp.
That's awesome.
It can grow a foot a day.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it's good because we saw it starting to grow back up in Northern California and out Channel Islands and stuff, and you can start seeing it coming down. And then we were down in Coronado Island. Cedros. You saw Cedros kelp bed come back really good. I mean, that canopy was golden. It was beautiful this last year.
Love to hear it, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we got a special guy on the line. Captain Frank Lopresti's calling us this morning. Frank, good morning.
Morning, Frank.
Well, good morning. What a beautiful day, huh?
Oh,
man.
Gorgeous outside.
Sign us up for more of this, buddy.
Yeah, you better believe it. Hey, I just want to give a real big shout out to Wayne. Wayne, we so appreciate what you do for our industry.
Oh, thanks, Frank.
And I mean, it is so important. And so many of us don't know what to do, and we count on your help, and you're always there. I also want to give a shout out, I believe, to one of your assistants, Tony. She's got CCA in her heart, and she works her butt off for you. Just thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Yeah, we had Chris and Tony up in Sacramento, and we're introducing Tony around because she's going to take on more of the hatchery program and a lot of the government relations stuff. She's going to be the face of CCA up in Sacramento and with the Fish and Game Commission department and all the other programs that we're working on. So we're getting her introduced and starting the networking of her, and she's stepping up. She's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the next generation right
well,
there.
Again, Wayne, just the whole fleet thanks you and appreciates you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Frank.
Well
Appreciate
said, Frank.
that.
That's awesome. And I know been a lot going on, Frank. We kind of talked about it this morning. It's been fun to watch the new C4 still having great fishing on the Bonita. There's still local fishing going on. Long range fishing been happening. It's been a fun. Once we kick that wind and rain out of here, it's sure been fun. It feels like summertime when you're down here in January, and it's a unique time if you come down to Fisherman's Landing. It seems like just about every boat that's in, wrenches and paintbrushes are flying on everybody. You can tell the fleet's really gearing up for what we feel might be an early start this year.
You know, there's another thing. I'm constantly working hard. The searcher is going to be in beautiful shape. Those guys have been working their butts off. My hat's off to Dave on the Tomahawk.
Yeah.
That boat is just looking beautiful. It's ready to go. He's a hard-working guy. The Pegasus is coming along great. They're working hard on the Shogun, making a lot of improvements. Things are just really rolling along really, really well. So it's just, the guys are going to be ready early this year, that's for sure.
We think it's going to be a good one, Frank. Well, we really appreciate you calling. Thanks for the check and the kind words to Wayne. Couldn't agree with you more. And we'll look forward to hearing from you. We'll look forward to hearing from you with a solid fish report. One of the guys kicking some butt here real soon.
Well, RP gets in tomorrow, so we'll see what we have to report. Take care.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Frank.
that very much.
Appreciate it.
Hey, we had a great text come through and a lot of great phone calls. It's just been a very busy morning. Lots going on, and we got a lot of fun show ahead for you.
Boy, do we. Man, we got all these texts lining up. We got to go and scramble and read them all while we're doing the show. And we got all these phone calls coming in. Hey, but you need to call in too. 833-288-0973. And don't forget, we got one lucky caller or texter is going to win a full day trip on the Mission Belle with Cameron. Boy, is this going to be fun. We got more coming up. And hey, keep listening on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
3 kayaks, 6 surfboards, 10 rods, and 1 truck bound for Baja. That's where my brother and I's most recent quest into the Baja Peninsula began, in search of waves, fish, and fun. We are able to transport all the kayaks, rods, and boards without straps due to the easy transportation of the Hobie iTrack inflatable kayaks. We brought a tandem and 2 singles, the I-9 and 11, and they were totally enough to get all 6 of the boys onto some of the best halibut and grouper fishing of their lives. Now, you might be thinking, 3 kayaks? I thought a tandem and 2 singles would only be able to fit 4 people. Well, a simple lawn chair on the back of the kayak was enough to turn the 2 single kayaks into tandems. Catching upwards of 100 fish a day in the mangroves, ranging from 15-pound grouper to tons of legal halibut, we had our fill and headed back to the States. Check out the full video of this trip on our YouTube channel, Fastlane SC, or come by our shop in Mission Bay and check out a Hobie inflatable kayak. See you soon.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, All CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, we got Captain Cameron from the Mission Belle in here, and boy, we have some great stories being told. One lucky caller is going to be, or texter is going to win that full day trip on the Mission Belle. Remember, 833-288-0973.
Phones are packed up. Let's jump right back in. Talk to Mike. He's calling us from Torrance this morning. What's up, Mike? Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Cameron and Ricky and Wayne. Great show today. We're sure fortunate to have you guys in our corner fighting for our rights to fish. It's been a big part of my whole life. I did a lot of fishing with Brian back when he had the Queen in the early days. So, Cameron, you're lucky to be apprentice to him back in the day. I'm looking forward to fishing with you on the Belle. I love the Coronado Islands when the yellowtail are breezing up on them, and you're getting them on the dropper rigs and yo-yo jigs. So just give us a couple stories of you fishing with Brian growing up, if you don't mind.
Oh, man. He was the best. Like, long trips or at Hurricane Bank or Cedrus, or he would just look at you and grab your mask, because I like dive in and stuff, and it was like, what? He's like, jump in.
That's
cool.
And
the opportunity is like jumping in and letting a 150-pound yellowfin go.
So you've jumped in on the Hurricane Bank.
Oh, yeah.
What is that like?
Wow. You just jump in.
Yeah.
We were I forget where we were, but we were maybe the bank. We were idling up, and he was going to just let me swim, and they were going to troll for a while. And I was sitting on the bow, and I looked down, and we're kind of getting into the shallows, and one of those white tips, kind of swims under the bow. And I look up at him, and he goes, not today. But he was always the best at giving us, and Sam, at giving us the opportunity to do as much as we wanted to.
Totally.
If we didn't have you're the engineer.
Okay.
When we'd go to the fuel dock, it was, I know how to drive a boat. Who wants to drive? And it's like, well, I'll try.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there was no limitations of what we wanted to, try to improve or do. And we also got yelled at a lot. He said something, we were talking about, the current guys on the Angler, and we were saying something, and I was like, you're kind of getting soft.
Ooh.
I mean, between Brian and Sam, there was, I've been up against walls and engine rooms, but, just the old school fishing thing, and but they just taught us work ethic, and it was, if Sam drove the boat, Brian was the deckhand, and we had a rotation of who cleaned heads, and, if it was Brian's day, it was like, the worst was if Brian went after you.
Okay.
Because, you had to do the big final clean, make sure, and then if the boss came in behind you and there were scales on the floor, he was on his hands and knees, and they just taught us that, just because you're the captain, you work the hardest and you get the least amount of sleep.
Lead by example.
100%.
Yeah, if you're the guy that's writing the checks, but you're still taking your rotations and cleaning the heads, then nobody else can. There's not a lot of room for somebody else to bitch about, working too hard.
No, I mean, you still see him down there, unloading fish, and it's impressive.
That's cool. One of my favorites. I remember working in the tackle store a long time ago, and it was after I think Sam had a big surgery, surgery on his back, and he had not been on the boat for a while, and he came back into the shop and he did one of those. Whew! Man, I'm like, what's going on? He goes, oh man, I really unloaded on those guys. He goes, I just haven't yelled at anybody in a long time. And he jokingly was like, there was like a fender ball or something that was out of place or not pulled up. And he goes, man, I gave somebody, 2 months worth of pent up, I felt good, man. Felt good to get that out of my system.
Yeah, it was a 7-day. And he did.
I remember he had to take a breath. He said he yelled so good at his boys.
I shared a room with, I was in the 2-man room the whole time I was on there, and bam, the door would just come flying open and rattle on the magnet, and it's like, I had just gone to sleep, it was last and I'm like, hey, what's going on, Sam? You need to get up, and it's just like, oh, okay, so I go downstairs and get my cup of coffee, and I'm like, where's, Andrew, who owns the Pacifica, he was up, and I go up to the bow. And poor Andrew's got his cup of coffee, and we're getting ready to anchor, and he's up against the house. I go, dude, what's going on here? And he goes, I've already gotten it 3 times today. The sun's not even up. And it was I go, you can go hide. I got this.
It's my turn. I'll take it. I'll put the jacket on.
Yeah.
I love that. I got it 3 times. The sun's not up yet. That's fun. Well, the phones are packed, Wayne. Let's sneak another in there while we're still joining our good friends on the fan.
Awesome. Let's take Robert in Canyon Country.
What's up, Robert? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. Awesome. So I heard the captain saying that he has some experience with lobster. It's really hard to get any insight on lobster. If the fishing isn't complicated enough, then add the lobster to it. So moon phases, tides, any information. It's really hard to get any information on lobstering.
I think with tide, hoop netting's different. Our traps are so heavy that they don't wobble in tidal movement. I think if you're hoop netting, you really got to be light tide, slack of tide. And I always tell people, fish where we can't. You see guys hoop netting out, in Point Loma and stuff like that. I dream that I could set a trap in the bay.
Exactly. We can fish where you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moon phases, there's times where it's the full moon and it's so bright that the sheephead are activated and there's different things. Then there's times you go out on a full moon and it's really good. Fresh bait is a big thing. That rotten stinky is not like the lobster answer.
I think that thing that you just said is probably the single best piece of advice. Fresh bait and a hoop net is it's not beatable.
It's not.
And think about it this way. What the bait is doing in the water out of that cage or the tube is putting out a scent trail. Those antennas go up, they smell it, they're going to go to it. They're going to go up that trail to find it. So you got to look at which way is that tide going so you know where to set your trap. And then certain times, sometimes they're in the shallow, sometimes they're in the deep. If it's raining, they stay away from brackish water, the runoff. So don't go next to something shallow water runoff because they're going to be moving away from that. And then certain times of year, they head towards the deeper water in the season. And so you're going to be wanting to go away from the break wall and probably closer to the channel. It's just those are certain basics.
And I think soak time. I think when they're walking and it's fast paced, I think you can pull your nets every 30 minutes. And maybe if it's a slower night and it's scratch fishing, or maybe you're only catching a couple big ones or something, maybe let 2 of your 10 or however many you fish sit for an hour and a half.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't have to be you don't have to do every single thing every time. You can let a couple sit and prospect around a little bit. And the new school lights and floats and things have changed so much. You can have all your lights on, and if you just decide that you're going to let 2, you're going to pull your 10 nets down, and you want to just run through your gear as fast as you can, do that with 8 of them and turn your 2 lights to blinkers and the other one straight, and you'll let those ones sit an hour and see if that makes a difference, or if it makes no difference. And
yeah,
I think that's a good call.
We have places that fish where I could pull a trap on an overnight soak, and you wouldn't even think there was a lobster around where I put my trap. And then I let it sit for 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden there's color in the trap or lobster.
Kidding.
Yeah, there's a lot of, everyone's like, oh, do you pull all 300 every day? And it's like, no, you play the game. This gear gets pulled.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that.
As soon as it's daylight after one night because the predators are so bad. And this one I max out the soak time allotment on.
Sure. Now, what is the amount of time that you think, when is something too much? And is it too much just because they don't do good, or your bait doesn't fish, or predator? What is the too much time? And vice versa.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just it's so location.
Not black or white enough.
Yeah, hard bottom where there's a lot of fish and active. 3 or 4 days you pull the trap and all the bait's gone, and there's not a single lobster in there.
Got it.
Where if you would have pulled it, on the first or second night,
yeah,
there's 2 or 3 legals and 20 shorts.
And when you say there's predators around, is that there's fish that are they'll just swim into your traps and harass the lobsters?
They'll swim in. There's octopus. It's all of it.
There it is.
Wow, as you can hear, boy, we're coming up. That first hour goes so quick. And hey, if you want to join in, don't forget, call in 833-288-0973. That first hour. Hey, thanks to Kyle on the Fan for keeping us on. The second hour will be on YouTube and Facebook Live and our Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll be right back.
For the most exciting sports show of the year, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show, presented by Geico. Now 2 great dates and locations. First, the Giant 16th Annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, March 5th through the 8th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Then, the first annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts, taking up the huge fairgrounds at both locations, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Seminars featuring some of the top names in the industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, freshwater bass, trout, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. Thursday, March 5th to Sunday, March 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, and in San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Presented by Geico. Check sportfishingfestival.com.
Rock Cod Rick here to tell you about Parker Boats and the guys at West Coast Marine. By now, you all know my boat partner and I bought a new 25 Parker center console from crew at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. We've known for a long time that a Parker was the boat for us. It's a stout workhorse of a boat built to last and get you home when the seas get rough. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore tuna grounds. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all sizes, fishing in the same areas as the sporties. There's a good reason for it: fishability and seaworthiness. West Coast Marine has several new Parkers in stock and ready for delivery. And they have more on the way. Don't get caught without a reliable boat when fishing is this good. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine. Check out the inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing: need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Sport fishing, not just for dad anymore, thanks to the Dana Wharf's Kids Club. Dana Wharf Sport Fishing invites all anglers 12 and under to join the Kids Club today. Membership includes over $100 of really cool stuff, like 2 free fishing trips, whale watch trip, as well as a free Dana Wharf Kids Club hat or t-shirt. Log on to the website, danawharf.com, or visit them in Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County.
Are you ready for reliability? Then you're ready for a Yamaha outboard. And there's no better time to jump on board than during our Ready for Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2026, eligible new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboards get 2 additional years of warranty protection for a total of up to 7 years of warranty coverage. Plus, Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboards come with up to $200 in dealer credit. Get ready to enjoy Yamaha reliability with a new outboard today. Visit your local Yamaha dealer for details. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2026. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.